Hi everyone, my name is Miranda Stiles and I am here talking to you about Southern Oregon University. As an admission counselor, I'm here to help you every step of the way. So if you're interested to learn more about the admissions process, housing, financial aid, what kind of classes and majors we offer, us here in the admissions office are going to be your first point of reference. So if you have any questions, you'd start out with one of the admission counselors. Southern Oregon University is located in Ashland, Oregon. Ashland, Oregon is located about 15 minutes from the California border, has about 21,000 residents and about 350,000 visitors each year. One of the main visitor draws is the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which I included a photo down on the left-hand side. That is a world-renowned theater that runs for about 9 months out of the year and has 11 shows. If you are a student, you can actually see a show for about $15 through their Rush ticket program. We also have Lithia Park, which is about 1 mile away from campus. It's a beautiful park with a lot of running trails, mountain biking trails, duck ponds, tennis courts. It's a really nice place to hang out, especially when it's all sunny and bright out. We also have a photo of the downtown Lithia area, as well as a map of our direct flights from Medford, which is about 15 minutes away. We go to all of these different cities except for Boise, but there are direct flights to San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, Seattle. A lot of different carriers are provided at the Medford International Airport, and there's actually a shuttle that can run students from SOU to the international airport. In terms of climate, we have really mild climate here in Southern Oregon. We do have 4 seasons, but in terms of rainfall, we get about 22 inches and snow, we get about 4 inches. So usually just a light dusting of snow in the downtown Ashland area. However, if you want to go ski and snowboard, we actually have a ski and snowboard resort just right outside the city limits of Ashland, and we have a snow bus that runs the college students as well as the residents of Ashland to and from the hill for free. So if you wanted to go up there and hang out in the snow, you can definitely do that even without a car. We get about 200 sunny days a year, and our lows in January and our highs in July are actually really comfortable. And so it is a beautiful time. Ashland is just a really gorgeous place, as well as Southern Oregon area in general. In terms of campus, we actually have about 175 acres. When someone steps on campus, they just say, oh my gosh, it's so green. It's just like a rolling park, really gorgeous. All these photos are from the campus. We've actually been an institution since 1872, so almost 150 years. And we've gone through a lot of different iterations, but we actually started out as a teaching college at that time. And so we officially rebranded to Southern Oregon University in 1997, but we have been around for about 150 years. And the campus is set just 1 mile away from the downtown area, but we're on the same boulevard, so it's really accessible. You can easily walk downtown in about 20 minutes or skateboard or bike in about 5 minutes or so. In terms of numbers, we have about 5,800 students at SOU, and that's undergraduate as well as graduate population. In terms of class size is around 21 or so. When I was a student here at SOU, my largest class was 32 students as an introductory marketing class, and my smallest class I had was 8. So that kind of just tells you the differences of class. But it's really nice because you're very, your professors are very approachable and accessible. So you're able to really communicate with them and talk to them directly without being in such a large lecture hall. In terms of our admitted averages for the class of 2019, our high school GPA was about a 3.32. ACT was 1020, as well as ACT is a 22. We do have a holistic review, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in the presentation, as well as we're now test optional. So those are some things to note. In terms of distinctions and kind of what SOU is known for, we're actually top 25 LGBTQ friendly campus. We have a lot of great resources and organizations specifically designed around LGBTQ students as well as allyships. Top 50 best disability friendly college and university. We have the Disability Resource Center as well as our UCAM program. Our UCAM program is nationally known, and it is a fee-for-service program where you would pair up with a professional coach to help you with time management and different skill sets. we have a really, welcoming campus, so there's no stigmas around disabilities or students needing accommodation of any sort. We're really strong about sustainability, and we're actually, bee and tree campus. We were the first tree campus in the nation and continue to have that. But campus is really beautiful, lots of greenery and different types of trees. And we actually have a farm on campus. So that top photo is a farm, so you can actually grow vegetables. There's a little area with grapes in the back. We also partner with middle and elementary schools to learn about growing sustainably and using produce locally. And also Ashland was named the top 10 finalists for best town in America. So it's a really beautiful location. And if you haven't visited, we definitely encourage you to come to Ashland. In terms of academics, we have 38 majors, but over 100 programs of study. That encompasses majors, minors, pre-professional programs, as well as certificates. A full list of the majors are included on our sou.edu/academics page. But we do have 7 different academic divisions. So that kind of tells you a little bit about our program structure. In terms of our most popular majors, business, education, and psychology have the most amount of students in those specific majors. But some other notable programs that we have is theater. We have a couple different concentrations within theater, such as performance, costuming, set design, stage management, lighting, also dramaturge at the master's level. One of the photos I included here was our digital cinema students. So they're working with a red camera, and it's a fundamental film making degree. Criminal justice and criminology is actually the oldest criminal justice and criminology program in the entire state. Our STEM programs are fantastic. So if you're interested in pre-med, pre-optometry, pre-dentistry, or going into our traditional biology, chemistry, environmental science, and policy programs, you can definitely do that as well. We even have a forensic chemistry degree. We have a lot more majors to choose from. So if you are interested, I definitely encourage you looking at our academic page to see if we have your specific program. If you have any questions about those programs, or if you're not quite sure if we have them or what they would be labeled as, please again, reach out to the admissions office and we'll be able to help you out. We have some pretty unique academic experiences and opportunities that I would definitely want to highlight regarding SOU. We have the Honors College, which accepts about 25 first-year students each year. It is a competitive process and there is a separate application, but essentially you'll need at least a 3.5 unweighted GPA cumulative from your high school, from your 9th through 12th grade. If you're a high achieving student in high school and want a little more rigor in college, I definitely would encourage you to apply for this. There's also significant scholarships associated with being an honors college student, as well as additional opportunities through mentorships, as well as international diplomacy trips. The honors college went to India and South Africa just in the recent years. We have degree in 3 programs. So if you are a local Jackson or Josephine County student here in Oregon, you can qualify potentially for the pledge program. Or if you're outside that area and still want to reduce your time spent at SOU to as little as 3 years, I definitely would encourage you to look at the Accelerated Baccalaureate program. That can reduce your time spent at SOU and also can get you into your career faster. So you can save money at SOU while you're here for 3 years and then also start making a salary earlier. That is a separate application, and I encourage you to look more at the links provided. Study abroad program, we actually have a international office as well as a study away program. So if you're interested in studying abroad here at SOU, I'd encourage you to look at that. We go to 40 different countries as well as 150 different universities within the US. So if you're worried about the language barrier or just different customs, the National Student Exchange is a great resource. However, we do have those provider programs and direct study exchanges through the different countries that we work with. And then we have ROTC, which is a Reserve Officer Training Corps program at SOU. So we partner with the Army and the National Guard to help you pay for tuition and fees, as well as room and board, which can significantly save you money throughout your 4 years here at SOU. And then you would be commissioned into either one of those areas in the military after your graduation from SOU. In terms of admissions criteria, for a first-year student, we're looking at having all your college preparatory classes completed with a C- or better, as well as a 2.5 unweighted cumulative GPA. For a transfer student, if you have completed 36 quarter credits or 24 semester credits, we'll look for about a 2.25 GPA. Or if you've completed your associate's degree, we just need a 2.0 GPA. We ask that students have 2 years of a foreign language completed before they come to SOU. However, if they do not have 2 years of a foreign language completed, then they can have that tacked on as a requirement before they graduate from SOU with a bachelor's degree. So it's not going to hurt your admissibility. It would just be additional requirement. We do have a holistic review. So even if you're below that 2.5 GPA or anything with a transfer, we encourage you to submit some additional documents, which I'll talk about now. With the application process, we ask that you apply directly on our website. We are not part of the Common Application. We do have our own website at apply.sou.edu. At the end of the application, there is a $60 application fee. If you, for whatever reason, cannot pay the application fee at that time of submitting your application, you can click the fee deferral button. That fee deferral would move your fee onto your first billing statement whenever you do enroll at SOU. However, if you are not able to attend SOU for whatever reason, you're not liable to pay that fee. After you submit your application, I would ask that you contact your registrar or counselor at your school and have them send your official transcripts, whether you're in high school or community college. Once we get your official transcript as well as your application, we'll be able to let you know of a decision within 2 to 3 weeks. So we turn that decision around very quickly. However, if you don't meet those GPA requirements that I was talking about earlier, I would encourage you to submit your, submit additional documentation, such as letters of recommendation, resume, or personal statement, so we can understand who you are and advocate for your admissibility to SOU. In terms of cost, we have 3 different structures. We have the Oregon resident cost, the out-of-state, and our Western undergraduate exchange student cost. The WUI cost is essentially for the 14 most Western states, so the Dakotas and over, and including American Samoa. The tuition and fees are going to be, or the tuition is going to be variable depending on which 3 categories you're in. The fees remain the same for every student. And then the room and board cost is dependent on which residence hall you do live in. First year students are required to live on campus. However, students who are 1 year away from graduation from high school are not required to live on campus, or if you're a transfer student. We do have automatic WUI for students from those Western states, so there's no additional application or test scores or GPA requirement. We do have merit-based scholarships for our Oregon first year and transfers, as well as our Western undergraduate exchange first years as well. And those range depending on your GPA coming over from your previous institutions. We also have the Southern Online Scholarship application, which has a few hundred scholarships that you can apply for. You'll go in and make your preliminary application and then select the scholarships that are most applicable to you. In terms of financial aid, we ask that all students submit the FAFSA, or if you are an undocumented or DACA student in Oregon, you would submit the ORSA. When they're equivalent, they both open up on October 1st of each year. And then after you're admitted to SOU and have a FAFSA on file, we're actually able to create a financial aid award package that we send out mid-year, so January, February, March. So it really is important that you submit that FAFSA so we see your true cost of attendance, which will be different than a lot of other students, just depending on what you and your family or guardians can contribute to your education. In terms of student life, we have a lot going on. We have about 6,000 students, as I was talking about earlier. However, we have about 150 different student organizations and clubs. Within our athletic teams, we have 13 varsity sports. So those are going to be competitive. NAIA, which is National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. That photo down below is of our women's softball team winning the World Championship, or the World Series just a few years ago. So we're really proud of them. But if you are interested in playing a sport, you can contact a coach and start the recruitment process. However, if you are interested in staying, active and meeting people, but you don't want to be actively recruited on the collegiate level, we do have clubs and intramural sports. Some of our clubs are men and women's lacrosse, men and women's rugby, and men and women's crew, which is rowing. In intramurals, we have like pickup basketball game, pickup volleyball game. So it's just a good way to meet other people and stay active. We have 5 different resource centers on campus. So we have Multicultural Resource Center, Queer Resource Center, Women's Resource Center, the Student Sustainability Center, as well as the Veterans Resource Center. All of these resources centers are up at the top floor of our student union, which is right in the middle of campus. And so if you identify in multiple spaces, they actually have one area for you to hang out and get those resources, which is great. We also have free tutoring specifically within the library. So we have a math lab and a writing center. However, if you need tutoring in any area and any discipline at SOU, you can find that information. Usually you would just talk to a professor or someone in your department and they can find free tutoring for you and additional tutoring maybe outside the university as well. Our Career Connections department actually helps students with internships, finding on-campus jobs, maybe helping with resumes and cover letters, and that is located in our student union as well. So you can come and get help with any of those areas. There's a lot of on-campus jobs for students here. And so you can work in dining, athletics, here in admissions, the library, even potentially within your specific academic department. And we have the outdoor program, and that photo I included on the left-hand side is of our outdoor program, and they are rafting the Rogue River, but you can go obviously whitewater rafting, rock climbing, snowboard, skiing, deep sea diving. So a wide range of different programs that the outdoor program puts on that you also just get to meet students and have a really good time in the outdoors. In terms of living on campus, we have a lot of different housing options for students. First year students have the option of living in Green Springs, Shasta, or McLaughlin. If you are a transfer upperclassman student, McLaughlin or Madrone are going to be your options. Also, if you're a transfer upperclassman and or you have a family, whether that's a child or a spouse, you can live in our student apartments and family housing. There is usually a wait list with the student apartments and family housing, but the other residence halls are generally open and students can apply either for the entire year or the term in which they start at SOU. All those photos you see here on the page are of our Raider Village, which encompasses our Shasta, Green Springs, and McLaughlin residence halls. And they are also very close to our Hawk, which is our main dining facility on campus. We have another dining facility on the upper part of campus in our student union. However, this is the main one for our residential hall students. Again, it's a really good place to work on campus and they hire a lot of students, but there's a couple different meal plans that students can choose from based on what year they are, whether they're a freshman or upperclassman, and which residence hall they're living in. There's also a dietitian on campus, so if you have any questions about your nutritional needs, you can ask them. We also have plenty of options for vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, so any dietary preferences can be accommodated at the dining facility. If you are interested in learning more about SOU and you're currently not on our mailing list or you're not getting things in the mail, I would encourage you to go to sou.edu/requestinfo. There you can fill out your information and it'll go into our database automatically. So you'll start being including in our communications, and you can start doing this even if you're in 9th or 10th grade. It's really good to be in the know of what's going on at SOU. So I definitely encourage you to do so. We want to stay engaged with you, and so we do have a couple different options. So we have sou.edu/virtual connections. That's actually a really good spot if you're interested in future virtual meetings or sessions. You can actually book a Zoom or Google Meet session with an admission counselor on that platform based on your region. So you would look for your specific counselor and you'd request a virtual visit. In terms of our social media platforms, we have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. These are all fantastic, but if you're interested in learning more about SOU, we have an extensive YouTube channel, so you can go in and have like in-depth knowledge of specific programs and majors with like 3 to 5 minute videos of the different academic areas on campus. And just to stay in touch, our website, sou.edu/admissions, is always updated with new and relevant information about the admissions process and what you need to do. I have included the admissions email as well as my personal email. So if anyone has questions, you can direct them primarily to the admissions page, just to make sure that they're taken care of. But you can contact me as well. Our phone number, as well as the sou.edu/virtual tour, is listed as well. If you are not able to come on campus for whatever reason, I would definitely encourage you to look at that virtual tour. You can actually get 360 videos of a lot of our department buildings and information about the entire campus tour. So that wraps up my presentation today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.